In the summer of 2015, the footballing world had a consensus. Leicester City were dead on arrival. Bookmakers offered odds of 5,000 to 1 for them to win the Premier League. To put that in perspective, you were more likely to find Elvis Presley alive than see the Foxes lift the trophy. Enter Claudio Ranieri. Labeled the Tinkerman, he was seen as a safe, perhaps uninspiring choice for a team destined for the drop. But beneath the polite Italian charm lay a tactical revolution that would dismantle a decade of possession-based dogma. At this time, football was obsessed with control. Tiki-taka was the gold standard. If you didn't have the ball, you didn't have the game, or so we thought. Leicester was about to prove that what you do with the ball matters far less than what you do without it.
Ranieri reverted to the classic English 4-4-2. It was seen as archaic, a relic of the 90s. But this wasn't your grandfather's 4-4-2. This was a sophisticated low-block system designed to weaponize the opponent's own possession against them.
The system required a miracle in midfield. They found it in N'Golo Kanté. Signed for just £5.6 million, Kanté didn't just play midfield, he patrolled it. Stats would later show he averaged 4.7 tackles and 4.2 interceptions per game, numbers that defied logic. As the joke went, 70% of the earth is covered by water, the other 30% is covered by N'Golo Kanté. His ability to recover the ball allowed Leicester to play with a midfield of 3 while only using 2 players.
If Kanté was the engine, Jamie Vardy was the exhaust. A former factory worker playing non-league football just years prior, Vardy was the ultimate vertical threat. He didn't want the ball at his feet, he wanted it in the space behind the defenders.
On the right wing, Riyad Mahrez provided the creative spark. While the team was built on industry, Mahrez was pure artistry. He finished the season with 17 goals and 11 assists, turning the most rigid defenses into Swiss cheese with his 3.5 successful dribbles per match. The season started with a 4-2 win over Sunderland. The media called it a fluke. They said the high-pressing, high-energy style would burn out by October. They didn't realize that Leicester were actually running less than their opponents. They were just running smarter.
Tactically, Ranieri sat his team deep. By conceding the wings and the middle third, they invited the big 6 teams to commit bodies forward. Leicester's average possession for the season? A lowly 44.8%, the lowest for any champion in history.
The moment the ball was won, the instruction was simple: verticality. Within 3 passes, the ball had to be in the final third. They didn't build attacks, they launched strikes. It was football as a counterinsurgency.
In November, Jamie Vardy broke Ruud van Nistelrooy's record by scoring in 11 consecutive Premier League games. The goal against Manchester United was the perfect distillation of their season. A Kanté interception, a Mahrez pass, and a Vardy finish.
Ranieri knew his defense needed motivation. He promised his players pizza for every clean sheet. It started as a joke, but the clean sheet pizza became a symbol of a defensive unit: Morgan, Huth, Fuchs, and Simpson, that became an impenetrable fortress.
Captain Wes Morgan and Robert Huth were the heart of the defense. They weren't ball-playing center backs, they were old-school warriors. Morgan played every single minute of the campaign, a feat of endurance and leadership that anchored the dream. By Christmas, Leicester were top of the table. The statistics said it couldn't last. Their expected goals suggested they were overperforming. But football isn't played on a spreadsheet. It's played on grass, and the Foxes were ignoring the data. They weren't just beating the bottom half. They were dismantling the giants. They beat Chelsea, leading to Jose Mourinho's sacking. They beat Liverpool with a 30-yard Vardy volley that defied physics. The belief was growing.
February 6th, 2016, the Etihad Stadium. The title favorites Manchester City versus the upstarts. Leicester didn't just win, they dominated. A 3-1 victory that proved they weren't just counterattackers, they were a tactical machine. Mahrez's goal in that game was the moment the world stopped laughing. He sat the world's most expensive defenders on the floor with a single feint. It was a £20 million player looking like a £100 million superstar. As the season reached its final third, teams stopped attacking Leicester. They tried to give Leicester the ball. Ranieri pivoted. He didn't chase the game. He trusted his defense. The 4-2 wins turned into a string of gritty 1-0 victories. Between February and April, Leicester won 5 games by a 1-0 scoreline. This was the death of possession. They had 30% of the ball and 100% of the points. It was tactical discipline at its most extreme.
Ranieri's catchphrase, dilly-ding, dilly-dong, became the anthem of the run-in. It was his way of keeping the players awake, but it also kept the pressure off. He was the grandfather protector of a group of misfits on the verge of history.
The cracks began to show against West Ham. Vardy was sent off. The critics said this was the collapse. Tottenham Hotspur were chasing him down, led by a young Harry Kane. The gap was narrowing.
May 2nd, 2016. Leicester didn't even play that day. They gathered at Jamie Vardy's house to watch Chelsea face Tottenham. Spurs needed a win to keep the title race alive. When Eden Hazard scored the equalizer, the world shifted.
The scenes at Vardy's house are now legendary. A group of players rejected by bigger clubs, signed from the lower leagues, were now the champions of England. The 5,000 to 1 shot had come in.
The following weekend, the King Power was a cathedral. Andrea Bocelli stood next to Ranieri, singing Nessun Dorma. Tears streamed down the faces of fans who had spent 40 years waiting for a moment that statistics said was impossible.
When Wes Morgan hoisted that trophy, it wasn't just a win for Leicester. It was a middle finger to the financial elite of football. It was proof that a coherent tactical plan and a unified spirit could overcome a billion-dollar budget.
Let's look at the data. Leicester finished the season 18th in possession and dead last in pass accuracy. In any other era, these are the stats of a relegated team. In 2016, they were the stats of a champion. They broke the correlation between the ball and the trophy.
Leicester killed the high defensive line. They showed that if you leave 40 yards of space behind your center backs, tactical superiority in midfield doesn't matter. One long ball from Kasper Schmeichel or Drinkwater could negate 50 short passes.
We cannot forget Kasper Schmeichel. Following in his father's footsteps, he provided 15 clean sheets. His distribution was a tactical weapon, often acting as the first playmaker in their lightning-fast transitions.
Danny Drinkwater was the unsung hero. While Kanté won the ball, Drinkwater was the one who knew exactly where Vardy was running. Their partnership was the perfect blend of destruction and creation. The Leicester effect forced the league to evolve. Managers realized that mindless possession was a trap. The rise of heavy metal football and high-intensity pressing in the years that followed was a direct response to Ranieri's counter-attacking masterclass. Leicester became the world's second team. From Bangkok to New York, the story of the underdog resonated. It was a fairy tale in an age of corporate giants, a reminder that football still had room for the miraculous. The financial data is even more shocking. Leicester's entire starting 11 cost less than one of Manchester City's bench players. They didn't buy the title. They built it through scouting and tactical cohesion.
Behind the scenes, Steve Walsh was the architect. He found Mahrez for £400,000 and Kanté for $5 million. His ability to find elite talent in the shadows of European football was the foundation of the miracle.
The victory was bittersweet in the years that followed, but the legacy of 2016 is permanent. It remains the greatest sporting upset in history. It wasn't just a lucky run, it was a tactical dismantling of the modern game. Leicester proved that efficiency beats control. You don't need the ball to dictate the game. You just need to control the spaces where the ball is going to be. It was a masterclass in spatial awareness.
81 points, 23 wins, only 3 losses. These aren't the stats of a fluke. These are the stats of a team that figured out the puzzle of the Premier League and solved it using the simplest pieces available.
Did they kill possession football? No, but they ended its monopoly. They showed that there is more than one way to win, and sometimes the best way is to let the opponent have the ball and give them enough rope to hang themselves.
Claudio Ranieri, once the tinker man who could never win the big one, became the man who won the biggest one of all. He did it with grace, with pizza, and with a tactical system that defied every expert in the world.
The story of 2015-16 Leicester City will be told as long as football is played. It was the season the 5,000-to-1 shot came home. It was the season the Foxes didn't just win the league, they broke football, and it was beautiful.